This is what happens when someone who did not grow up with Iron Maiden and may or may not have been indoctrinated to think that music like that is evil, demonic, and off limits, finally starts exploring the band Iron Maiden. Enjoy this compilation and highlight moments from my latest Iron Maiden reactions and reviews, and watch my face go from hesitation to utter amazement. Are you ready? Make sure to subscribe. This is my second channel. Find my main channel, Rosalie Elliott, on YouTube. This one is where I bring you extra content, I highlight up-and-coming artists, or I honor more of your requests and suggestions. Make sure to subscribe. Here we go.
There's a band called Iron Maiden and a song called Hallowed Be Thy Name. And I'm seeing people react to it left and right. I hear the words, Hallowed Be Thy Name, and my mind is thinking of the Lord's Prayer. I have a feeling they're not going to be singing about the Lord's Prayer, though. That thumbnail looks evil. The number of the beast, as in like devil 666. Very dark looking.
I'm waiting in my cold cell when the bell begins to chime.
Sounds dark.
Reflecting on my past life.
That's a catchy hook, though. His voice, though. That hook. That is good. Snap. Okay, listen. First of all, for those of you who are like, how can you not know who Iron Maiden is? Know the name, heard of them. If you showed me a couple of well-known snippets, I may be like, I may have heard this somewhere before. But I never listened to them. And I think just looking at the album cover alone explains why. This would have not been something I would have wanted to listen to. This looks evil and dark, and from the second puts me off. But now I'm listening to this and I'm going, oh snap. That's what's so interesting to me about exploring music, especially from the 70s and 80s, 60s even, where I may or may not have listened to it because of my upbringing or my personal preferences. And then you open your mind to some of this music and you go, wow, there's so much talent and skill here that I didn't realize. Also, it's interesting to see how much our prejudice and assumptions and stereotypes affect our perception, because we may not listen to something because it looks a certain way to us, not realizing we're missing out on something really profound. Lastly, I am impressed with their musical abilities. It's so interesting to me to hear bands like Rush, Led Zeppelin, now Iron Maiden, and to still hear such distinct differences, very much different in their subgenre of rock, very unique in their style. The hooks and riffs in this track were amazing. I love what they were doing with the guitar. That was so catchy and pulled you in. It was really, really distinct and fun to listen to. The drums, the time signature, a very intense track, but a fun track to listen to. Again, it's interesting how perception affects us, because I see this evil devil and this scary death-like woman, I'm assuming, man, I don't know. It says the number of the beast, so naturally someone from a religious background or upbringing would go, oh, wait a minute, the number of the beast, I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't want death coming for me. And from a psychological standpoint, we may take that differently. For one, sometimes it's fear-based because of what religion is taught. Even psychologically, we see how even with religion, sometimes there may be fear-based hesitation about music because of what a doctrine teaches or a theology. Psychologically, I also think that this type of stuff pushes people away at times because fear, particularly maybe fear of evil things and dark things and death. We live in a world where there is both. We have things that are considered evil, things that are beautiful. As human beings, we're drawn to those extremes. We're drawn to the gloriously beautiful and the angels and the majestic and the pinnacles of art and masterpieces. But in the same sense, people are drawn to the opposite, to the things that look scary and dark. We want to understand and grasp that dichotomy of life, of the really dark and the really beautiful, and the beautifully heavenly and the dark and evil. And so just looking at this a little more objective, it loses its power when I look at it for what it is, which is silly, if you will, or someone trying to look scary and provocative. And now, considering the time that this came out and the era that this band was coming onto the scene, it also makes sense, right? These bands coming out and rebelling and wanting to have that shock value. You see it today, people doing things for shock value because that's what will get the views and what will get the attention. Or to be different. What the why of why we do what we do varies. Sometimes it's for money and views. Sometimes it's because people have based their identity around being different. Sometimes it works with the genre, you name it. But just taking a step back, trying to be more objective, it helped me to go, okay, let me put this scary picture aside for a second and let me just look at this for what it is. Hallowed be thy name. That title is intriguing in light of very contrasting to the picture of the album. I'm waiting in my cold cell when the bell begins to chime, reflecting on my past life, and it doesn't have much time. Interesting, right? There's somebody that's about to go be led to the gallows who's going to be killed, who's going to lose his life. Maybe for his crimes, maybe for doing something that wasn't deemed acceptable by the society. I don't know. The sand of time for me running low. So we're talking about this person reflecting on life. They're in their cell. The bell is chiming. The musical composition fit the guitar riff fit to this idea of a clock ticking, of time running out. It very much had that feeling from a composition standpoint. When the priest comes to read me the last rites, take a look through the bars at the last sights of a world that has gone very wrong for me. Okay, reflecting, retrospect, life, the world, and what is happening. Can it be that there's some sort of error? Hard to stop the surmounting terror. It is really the end, not some crazy dream. What a honest song about someone who is looking death into the face, which makes sense with the album cover now because it looks like death is reaching out the hand and the devil's waiting there. Haha. All right, this is a lot of people's idea of death, the scary and the not only in religious circles. I think we often have this idea of death being this dark shadow with the what is that? Mit dem Sichel. What is the English word for that? Going around with the hood, ready for the next victim. Death often in poetry and art and in religion has been presented as this figure of darkness and gloom because it's scary, it's sad, it's unfamiliar. We don't understand death. It's hard to grasp. Living here, experiencing life and then being gone and being no more, or going into a different sphere or different reality, or just not existing anymore, whatever your thoughts are on it. It's scary to lose someone and to never see them again, to picture a body decaying, to think about eternity. Those are concepts that just blow our human finite mind. And so often death has been presented as this scary, loomy thing that's coming for you. So it fits with the album cover, but it fits even here with the language of saying, is this a dream? Something's gone wrong. Something does not add up. Somebody please tell me I'm dreaming. It's not easy to stop from screaming. The words escape me when I try to speak. Tears flow. But why am I crying? After all, I'm not afraid of dying. Don't I believe that there never is an end? Interesting. So this is ultimately a fantastic conversation when it comes to death anxieties and existential fears, because if we are honest about that for a second, even people with religious beliefs who would say the Lord's Prayer and hallowed be thy name, and who would believe in eternity and believe that there is never an end, that I will be living forever, my soul will continue. Why are we afraid then? There's this dichotomy between I have nothing to be afraid of. I believe in heaven or whatnot. I believe in eternity. Or even if I believe I just won't be anymore, then there's nothing to worry about because I won't be anymore to have anything to worry about. But still, it's scary. And so there's this weird dichotomy between not really being afraid of dying necessarily, but still not finding the words and ultimately still being afraid because the things that are uncertain scare us, and death is an uncertain thing. We don't understand it. As the guards march me out to the courtyard, somebody cries from a cell, God be with you. If there's a God, why has he let me go? All right. So now we're talking about questions that come up in the human experience as well. Where is God? We have it in every religion. That is not something specific to Christianity. I'm going to use Christianity because the Lord's Prayer is part of the Christian doctrine. That is a question many have. If there's evil, why? How can God allow that? If there's a God, why would he allow this evil? Why is he not here? Why is he not with me? And yet we use these phrases so frequently. God be with you. All the best, right? God bless you, right? When somebody sneezes, we have these phrases, bless you, God be with you. But do we often pause long enough to go, what does that even mean? And it's not doing anything for me. Let's have an honest conversation. As I walk, my life drifts before me. Though the end is near, I'm not sorry. Catch my soul. It's willing to fly away. Very poetic here, this picture that's being painted. Mark my words. Believe my soul lives on. Don't worry now that I have gone. I've gone beyond to seek the truth. Very interesting, because to me, sometimes when I think if there is a heaven and afterlife and I get to be with God, I have a lot of questions for him. And in this life, the human experience too is filled with a ton of questions. And to say, don't worry now that I'm gone. Don't worry about me. I'm going to go seek the truth. I'm now going somewhere where I can figure out what the truth is, whatever that truth is. We'll find out. That's just legendary. Crazy. Do they usually go dark like this? Is that intentional? Talk to me in the comments. Imagine the energy in that place. Nuts. You guys were not lying. They are incredible live. The experience here of the energy, the band's energy, the fans' energy, that's another level compared to the studio recordings, even though that was epic as well. Fear of the Dark. Interesting to have such poignant and interesting lyrics. Hallowed be thy name, the number of the beast, fear of the dark, their imagery, their persona. You would think it's all dark and evil. And yet, from a psychological standpoint, it's actually pretty impressive, pretty powerful, pretty deep. Isn't it crazy how when we talk about things, when we put into the light our fear of the dark, when we are honest about our fear of the dark, and we do so in community, it often not necessarily fully alleviates the fear of the dark, but it doesn't make it so hard to deal with. It feels manageable to the point of joy coming out of this experience. You guys following what I'm saying? This was freaking amazing.
I fell in, and I guess I'm not getting out. Wow. Oh my gosh, I got so many thoughts. I feel like my hair looks crazy, but I feel like it fits. Not only to the music and the music video and the legendary hair of Iron Maiden.
I have fallen down the rabbit hole, and I'm not coming out anytime soon. Or off the hole, out the hole. I'm not coming out of the hole anytime soon, because I am mind blown by this band. A band that I would have considered to be evil. The imagery looks really dark. It's creepy and scary. And some of the titles are even very concerning. And yet it turns out that they have impressively, amazingly profound lyrics, amazing compositions, and I'm here for it. What an honor that we get to hear this. This is beautiful. Make sure to subscribe. Loving this. Amazing, amazing work once again by Iron Maiden. Thank you for being on this ride with me. Subscribe for more, and I will see you on the next ride.